I won't forgive you if you invite your parents over. They are dirty as stray cats. If you don't like that, get out of this house.
Does this man not realize who it is that allows him to live here? Fine then. I will leave the house. And it's been a few months since then. When I arrived at that apartment with my parents, he opened the front door and begged me,
Please help me. I can't pay the rent.
Then I told him coldly, You don't deserve to live in this apartment. Get the hell out of here. My name is Lara. I'm a 32 years old office worker. After I graduated from college, I got a job at a big company, and I'm still working there. I have been working my ass off for so long now. Since I have been with the company for 10 years now, I'm in a reasonably good position. I've always been dedicated to my work. But my private life is also very fulfilling these days. I'm currently in a relationship with a man named Nick, who I met on a blind date. He is a businessman and is the same age as me. We had a lot in common, and we soon became close. He was sincere and gentlemanly, and took the lead on our dates. I became more and more attracted to him. And now we have been dating for 2 years. I was thinking that I was getting old and wanted to get married soon. He proposed to me one day.
Lara, I want to marry you. Let's build a warm family together.
Yes, I'm sure we can make it together. And that's how I ended up marrying him. We greeted each other's parents and had a wedding. Everyone at work and my friends congratulated me, and I was at the height of my happiness. And then, our life as husband and wife began. Our newlywed life was very happy and joyful. My husband couldn't cook, so I was in charge, but he took the initiative in cleaning and so on. We were able to live together in a well-balanced and cooperative manner. After about 6 months of living together as a couple, my husband made me a proposal.
Hey, why don't we live in a bigger room?
What? A bigger room?
No, it's like you moved into my room. We just got married and become a couple. I think we should move out, considering we are going to have children and stuff.
The word children made me smile. My husband is taking our life together seriously, isn't he? This place might be indeed a little cramped if we have a child.
Isn't it? So let's move into a bigger and more comfortable home.
Yes, let's do that. When I said yes, he seemed to be very happy.
Yay! Let's find a room right away.
After work, he went to the real estate agency by himself and got a lot of information. I was too busy to go with him, but I was surprised when I saw the information he got. What? All of the information you got was about condos?
Yes, with our income, we should be able to afford this much.
I swallowed down the words that were about to come out. He said our, but my salary is far more than his. But it would hurt my husband's pride to say that. I have a feeling we could live comfortably in a cheaper room. Besides, when we think about having kids, it would be better to have savings. I tried as much as I could to get my husband to choose a cheaper room, but he wouldn't listen to me at all.
Well, we could save a little money. Besides, I've always wanted to live in a townhouse. It's good to experience everything in life.
My husband looked at various materials happily. Well, indeed, living in a condo is not an easy thing to do. I was raised to live modestly. I am hesitant about this kind of thing, but maybe it would be nice to experience it at least once. So I agreed to live in a condo. And later that day, we went to a real estate agency together to look around. We found a room which both of us liked much. It was a luxury apartment with a rent of $1,500. The room is on the 17th floor, so it has a great view of the outside. It's spacious and has many rooms, so it's comfortable. We immediately signed the lease. and we moved in with our stuff. My husband is very happy with it, and I'm very happy that we moved here. It's closer to work and easier to get there than before. The supermarket, post office, and bank are all close by, so it's convenient.
We are happy to live here after all, aren't we?
Yes, it's very comfortable.
We have an extra room, so it's not a problem if we want to invite someone over.
I think we can make a guest room or something. At this point, I thought my husband was thinking of having friends over, but he wasn't. One day on a day off, my husband and I were relaxing at home when the intercom rang. When I went to answer it, he got up and said, "I will go." Thank you. It's nice of him to move quickly at a time like this. Is it a delivery service or something? Why, I was thinking like that. I heard my husband talking to someone in a friendly manner at the door. And then he came into the living room, and I was surprised to see who was behind him. What? Grace? Hi, Lara. Long time no see. What's going on? What's going on? I came to visit you. I looked at my husband in surprise. Nick, you should have told me Grace was coming.
Huh? I didn't tell you. I'm sorry.
I will get you some tea right away. Oh, thank you. So, where should I put my luggage?
Oh, you can put them in a guest room for now.
I didn't know you had a guest room. It's an amazing home. My mother-in-law was happily chatting with Nick. She seemed to be enjoying the room tour that he was leading. Afterward, we had tea and sweets and talked about all sorts of things. I'm so proud of Nick for living in such a beautiful apartment.
It's been 2 years since my dad passed away.
Yeah, since he passed away. The yard is so low maintenance. My mother-in-law looked a little sad when she said that.
Mom.
Seeing my mother-in-law like that, my husband also had a sad expression on his face.
Well, anyway, Mom came to visit us today. Let's get some pizza to go and have a party.
My husband said so, and I agreed. And we spent a pleasant mealtime over beer and delicious pizza. It was getting late at night, and my mother-in-law stayed over at our house. I thought at the time that it was fine since tomorrow was my day off too. But to my surprise, my mother-in-law stayed over that day too. I tried not to interfere too much. My husband said, as if it was a matter of course, that she should stay over again today. My mother-in-law stayed over without hesitation. I have to work tomorrow, so I'm going to be busy in the morning. I was a little annoyed and anxious, and the next morning came. But when it was already time for me to go to work, my mother-in-law did not wake up. I asked my husband who was getting ready in the morning. When is Grace going home? You and I both have to work during the day. When I asked him that, he replied that it should be no problem if she stays at home until we get home today in the evening. What? You let her stay at home without us?
Yeah, what's the problem?
That's a big problem. How can my mother-in-law be alone in our home without us? This is our home.
Yes, it is. So my mother, who is a relative of ours, can spend her time here as she pleases.
My husband says it that way, as if it's a matter of course. I want to argue a lot, but it was already time to go to work. I had no choice but to give up and leave the house. And when I came home from work, my mother-in-law was having dinner with my husband happily. Oh, Lara, welcome home. Dinner is ready. You should eat too. Oh, thank you very much. My mother-in-law was still at home as a matter of course, and she was standing in the kitchen cooking. Not that there is anything wrong with that, but I felt a little uncomfortable that she was using my well-maintenance kitchen without my permission. And my mother-in-law was staying over that day too. I couldn't stand any longer, so I asked my husband about it. Isn't your mother staying over a bit too much? Why don't you let her go home once? When I said this, my husband was vexed.
What? You are treating my mother like she's a nuisance.
No, it's not like that. But I won't feel at home if she stays here all the time.
Huh? You are a terrible person. My mom would be hurt if she knew you were talking like that.
No, why are you acting like I'm the bad one? This home is ours. We leased this home to live together.
Didn't you listen to her the other day? Mom is lonely living alone in that old house. So at least for a little while, it should be fine when she lives together with us at this house. But you're complaining after just a few days.
You don't have to say it like that.
I'm her only son, so I have to take care of my mom. That's why I'm going to ask Mom to stay here a little longer.
No way. I didn't agree. But still, when my mother-in-law said she was feeling lonely, I couldn't object strongly enough. After that, my mother-in-law slept over at our house as a matter of course. She was sleeping over for about 2 weeks at a time. And recently, she has been going back to her own house during the day to pick up clothes and stuff. I thought it was strange, so I talked to my husband again. This is totally like she lives together with us. I don't remember having approved of the three of us living together. When I said this, my husband sighed.
You really are a thin-skinned person, aren't you? How many times do I have to tell you that my mom is lonely?
I fully understand that, but I just don't think it's right for her to stay here all the time like this.
So I guess she needs to move in here.
What?
I will tell Mom about that.
Wait, what do you mean?
I'm going to sell her house and let her move in with us.
No, I won't approve of that.
I don't care if you approve or not. Anyway, I spent the last 2 weeks with Mom, and I think we should move in together. I'm going to have to talk to her about it right away.
My husband didn't change his opinion, no matter how much I objected. And eventually, my mother-in-law moved her stuff completely out of her house, sold her house, and moved in. I was disappointed with my husband's decision to force me to live with her. I wonder if he will continue to decide everything without considering my opinion. Then, my mother-in-law's attitude became more and more brazen as we started to live together. Lara, make me some tea. Oh yes, we are out of sweets. Go and get some. My mother-in-law would lie on the sofa and tell me what to do. She also began to abuse me. Lara, you have Nick, who financially supports your life. You're neglecting the house chores, aren't you? Why don't you quit your job and be a housewife? You have nothing to offer except to do your best at house chores. It's a miracle that you're still living in this condo. Be grateful to Nick. Why do I have to be treated like this? My frustration was mounting. Then, I received a call from my parents, who live in the countryside for the first time in a long time.
Laura, how are you?
Hi, Dad. It's been a while, but I'm fine.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I've got to go to New York next week. I'd like to come to visit you in your new apartment if that's okay.
Sure. I'm so excited to have Mom and Dad here.
Okay, fine. We are looking forward to it.
I hung up the phone and immediately told my husband about this. And my husband reacted in a way I didn't expect.
Huh? You're going to invite your parents? You've got to be kidding me. That's an absolute no.
What? Why not?
Your parents live in the countryside as farmers, right? If they come here, they will make a mess of our beautiful condo. Don't ever bring your poor dirt-covered parents here. They don't even deserve to enter this apartment.
Why do you say that? I just wanted them to come over. They wanted to visit us. Why don't you just let them see our home for a minute?
Shut up. I won't forgive you if you invite your parents, who are dirty as stray cats. If you don't like it, get out of my house.
When I heard my husband's words, something snapped. My love for him has gone down the drain. Does this man not understand who it is that allows us to live here? All right, I will leave the house.
You should. I will have more space now that you will be gone. I guess that means you didn't deserve this condo after all.
My husband looked down at me by saying that, and my mother-in-law, who is standing next to him, is looking down at me. They are the worst. I have no choice but to get rid of them. I immediately went to a real estate agent and rented a reasonable apartment. Then I packed my stuff and showed my husband the divorce papers. There's no point in being married anymore, so sign this.
Fine. Now I'm finally free of you, annoying bitch. From now on, I will go out with younger women and live happily here.
Saying this, my husband signed the divorce papers. I took it and left the house with the rest of my belongings. My husband and mother-in-law looked at me with triumphant faces, but they didn't seem to understand what was about to happen. When my parents came to New York, they listened to my story in detail and were stunned.
I had no idea he was such a hopeless man. But well, he's going to destroy himself.
I nodded in agreement with my parents. A few months has passed since then. My parents came to New York again on business. They said,
Let's go to that condo. You will see many interesting things.
When I arrived at the apartment with my parents, my husband opened the front door and came to beg me.
Lara, you came?
Oh, you're disgusting. I shook off his hand. He got down on his knees and asked me for a favor.
We can't afford to pay the rent.
Behind him, I could see Grace, who had a pale face. You saw this coming, didn't you? Your salary is not enough to pay for this condo. My ex-husband burst into tears and said,
I was wrong. I'm sorry. And I want to get back together with me.
He is a fool that he thinks he can get back together with me. I told him coldly, You don't deserve to live in this apartment. Get the hell out of here.
Please don't say that.
He was in despair, and now my father was talking to him.
Nick, I heard you say we were poor and dirty as stray cats. Well, that's... You're the kind of guy who judges people by their looks and their titles, and you continue to live in a condo to look good. And now you are 3 months behind on your rent. You are irredeemable. Now get out of this apartment that my company manages. Huh?
My ex-husband looked like he had no idea. My dad is the president of a management company that manages many properties, including this condo. Now he left most of the management to the vice president. Nowadays, he's enjoying his hobby as a farmer and lives in the countryside. I thought I explained it to you, but I guess you misunderstood me.
Oh no.
My ex-husband was frozen with a pale face. My mother-in-law couldn't hold it any longer and sat down on the floor. I want you to get out of here and move into a place that is more appropriate to your status. Of course, you must pay the overdue rent. Thus, my ex-husband and ex-mother-in-law were evicted from the apartment, and they are now living together in a shabby apartment while paying 3-month rent in installments. I thought, why don't they just use the money they got when they sold off the old house of Grace? My parents-in-law's house was old and worth very little, so my ex-mother-in-law had almost no property. Moreover, she thought that her son, my ex-husband, was making a lot of money. She was living a life of unlimited extravagance. So my ex-husband, in addition to the overdue rent, also needs to pay a lot of credit card bills. It feels good. I, on the other hand, live comfortably on my own in a reasonably sized and reasonably priced room. This sense of modest living was instilled in me by my parents, and I'm still grateful for that. I will continue to work hard and live a peaceful and happy life by maintaining a minimal lifestyle. I wonder what it is about people like her husband that make them think that they make more money than they do. I would think a normal person would remember. In any case, I'm sure you are glad to be rid of your helpless husband and his mother. I think it's very important that you have returned to a modest life after your experience of living in a condo. I hope you continue to be happy with a way of life that suits you.